Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Directly facing each other. They sat opposite at the table. Characterized by opposite extremes, completely opposed. Diametrical, or opposite, points of view. Of leaves, etc., growing in pairs on either side of a stem. Opposite leaves. A contestant that you are matched against. A relation of direct opposition. Something inverted in sequence or character or effect. A word that expresses a meaning opposed to the meaning of another word, in which case the two words are antonyms of each other. Altogether different in nature or quality or significance. The medicine's effect was opposite to that intended. Being directly across from each other, facing. And I on the opposite shore will be ready to ride and spread the alarm. Moving or facing away from each other. Looking in opposite directions. The other one of a complementary pair. The opposite sex. Directly facing each other. The two photographs lay face to face on the table. Within each other's presence. She met the president face to face. In each other's presence. A face-to-face encounter. Directly facing each other. Within each other's presence. Related to or along a diameter. Characterized by opposite extremes, completely opposed. In diametric contradiction to his claims. Related to or along a diameter. Characterized by opposite extremes, completely opposed. Diametrical, or opposite, points of view. Being of crucial importance. The polar events of this study. Characterized by opposite extremes, completely opposed. Extreme and indefensible polar positions. Extremely cold. Polar weather. Having a pair of equal and opposite charges. Of or existing at or near a geographical pole or within the Arctic or Antarctic circles. Polar regions. Located at or near or coming from the Earth's poles. Polar diameter. Occurring in pairs or as a pair. Paired fangs. Of leaves, etc., growing in pairs on either side of a stem. Mated sexually. Characterized by active hostility. Opponent, or opposing, armies. Someone who offers opposition. A contestant that you are matched against. The act of hostile groups opposing each other. The invaders encountered stiff opposition. An armed adversary, especially a member of an opposing military force. The action of opposing something that you disapprove or disagree with. Despite opposition from the newspapers, he went ahead. A contestant that you were matched against. The relation between opposed entities. A body of people united in opposing something. A direction opposite to another. The major political party opposed to the party in office and prepared to replace it if elected. Her Majesty's loyal opposition. In an opposing direction. A contrary wind. Resistant to guidance or discipline. Mary, quite contrary. A relation of direct opposition. A logical relation such that two propositions are contraries if both cannot be true but both can be false. Exact opposition. Public opinion to the contrary, he is not guilty. Of words or propositions so related that both cannot be true but both may be false. Hot and cold are contrary terms. Very opposed in nature or character or purpose. Acts contrary to our code of ethics. The side of a coin or metal that does not bear the principal design. Reversed, turned backward, in order or nature or effect. Cancel officially. Change to the contrary. The trend was reversed. An unfortunate happening that hinders or impedes, something that is thwarting or frustrating. Reverse the position, order, relation, or condition of. The gears by which the motion of a machine can be reversed. Turn inside out or upside down. Directed or moving toward the rear. Rule against. A relation of direct opposition. We thought Sue was older than Bill, but just the reverse was true. Turning in the opposite direction. American football. A running play in which a back running in one direction hands the ball to a back running in the opposite direction. Of the transmission gear causing backward movement in a motor vehicle. In reverse gear. Reversed, turned backward, in order or nature or effect. Something inverted in sequence or character or effect. When the direct approach failed, he tried the inverse. Opposite in nature or effect or relation to another quantity. A term is in inverse proportion to another term if it increases, or decreases, as the other decreases, or increases. A word that expresses a meaning opposed to the meaning of another word, in which case the two words are antonyms of each other. To him the antonym of gay was depressed. A word that expresses a meaning opposed to the meaning of another word, in which case the two words are antonyms of each other. Differing from all others, not ordinary. Advertising that strives continually to be different. Distinctly separate from the first. That's another, or different, issue altogether. Distinct or separate. Each interviewed different members of the community. Unlike in nature or quality or form or degree. Took different approaches to the problem. Belonging to the distant past. In other times. Not the same one or ones already mentioned or implied. Today isn't any other day. Recently past. The other evening. Very unusual. Different in character or quality from the normal or expected. A strange, other dimension where his powers seem to fail. A person who dissents from some established policy. A person who participates in competitions. The relation between opposed entities. The divine Word of God, the second person in the Trinity, incarnate in Jesus. Information about recent and important events. An exchange of views on some topic. We had a word or two about it. A secret word or phrase known only to a restricted group. He forgot the password. The sacred writings of the Christian religions. A promise. He gave his word. put into words or an expression. A brief statement. He didn't say a word about it. A string of bits stored in computer memory. Large computers use words up to 64 bits long. A unit of language that native speakers can identify. Words are the blocks from which sentences are made. A verbal command for action. When I give the word, charge. Mathematics. One of a pair of numbers whose sum is 0. The additive inverse of -5 is +5. Mathematics. One of a pair of numbers whose product is 1. The reciprocal of 2/3 is 3/2. The multiplicative inverse of 7 is 1/7. Hybridization involving a pair of crosses that reverse the sexes associated with each genotype. Concerning each of two or more persons or things, especially given or done in return. Reciprocal aid. Mathematics. One of a pair of numbers whose product is 1. The reciprocal of 2/3 is 3/2. The multiplicative inverse of 7 is 1/7. Of or relating to the multiplicative inverse of a quantity or function. The reciprocal ratio of A. B is B, A. Something, a term or expression or concept, that has an inverse relation to something else. Risk is the reciprocal of safety. Antonyms whose opposition is mediated, e.g., the antonymy of wet and parched is mediated by the similarity of parched to dry. Antonyms that are commonly associated, e.g., wet and dry. The branch of biology that studies plants. The branch of biology that studies plants. All the plant life in a particular region or period. The botany of China.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.